Welcome to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. And Mark, we got a great guest with us tonight. But before we start talking to Jerry, I would like to make an announcement that there will be no stink bait or minnow eating on this show. Not tonight, not next week, not ever. Would you like to touch on that subject for just a minute?
I'd like to recommend some of those Mentos
Breath
or
mint.
some Big Red chewing gum after the fact. Maybe that might help. Altoids, the real strong ones. You might need a whole tin of them after what I just watched.
I am pretty sure that some stomach pills might be in order, Rolaids, something. I don't know what it would take to get that taste out of your mouth, but baking soda or something might be helpful.
Bacon don't hurt either. Now, bacon I'll eat. That stuff, I don't think so.
Betty says Listerine. I'm thinking a gallon ought to start with. For everybody that's been planning on going to Lake Mendota in Wisconsin, next week is a week, and we got the guy here tonight that lives there by the lake. Jerry, I can't wait to see you, man. It's been, 11 years since I was up there.
Has it really?
I think it has, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been a long time.
Yep, it is. And we had a blast last time, and I'm looking for a great time this time.
Well, good.
I can't wait to get up there. I was up there for the first time this year, just back in, I don't know, I think it was the end of February, and I'm ready to go. End of November, I think it was. I'm ready to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Word had that the Troy Hansen caught a 30-pounder up there last weekend.
Yeah, I was talking to Ken Miller about an hour ago, and he said it was something like a 23-pounder, so I'm not sure.
Oh. Well, I know that there was one caught we was up there last time that was pretty close to 30, but it just didn't fold over. So if it's still in there, it surely made it.
Yeah.
I need to get one over 20. I'll be a happy man. Anything after that's a bonus.
Well, I know there's a lot of excited people that's wanting to go up there, and Cindy and I are for sure planning on a great trip, and it's such a wonderful place up there, and it's quiet and kind of back in the back, and when you get on Cherokee and it's in that shallow water, then fish get to bite, and it's a pretty special time.
Yeah, it sure is.
What can you tell us about Mendota Lake? Because I wasn't on Mendota the last time we was there. We stayed on Cherokee, and James Dockery and I are talking about going over there. And I know that we can't keep the yellow perch this time of the year, but we'd like to catch a couple of them just to say we caught them. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, it could be. There's perch in the lake for sure. A lot of them were caught through the ice this winter. So you could try, like up in the northeast corner of the lake. There's a whole shoreline of cattails and reeds and stuff, and it's actually in the river mouth that comes down from Cherokee into Lake Mendota, and I've caught panfish there in the spring.
Okay, good.
And there's big bluegills in that lake too.
Oh, that's even better yet.
Yeah, you can catch 9-10 inches.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to make one day to go over there then for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's they're one of my bluegills are one of my favorite. If you got them that size, we're definitely going to have to make a trip over there and try them out.
Mm-hmm.
So what about some of the amenities over there, Jerry? Are we going to be close to like a bait shop if people need to run out, stuff like that? Is that all in the close vicinity of where we're staying?
Yeah, there is. Up on the northeast side of the lake, it would be on Northport Drive. There's a bait shop called DNS Bait and Tackle.
Okay.
And so they would have things like shiners and suckers that that work good for catfish bait.
So suckers will work as good too. Besides, like if we get any bluegills or anything like that, can we use cut bait on the lake?
Yes, you can. You're not supposed to bring it from another state
Absolutely not.
or even from another lake in Wisconsin. You're not supposed to. So it's supposed to be caught in the water that you're going to fish, but it is legal to keep them on ice overnight and use them the next day.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know. And if you buy suckers from a local bait shop, that's okay, obviously, right?
Yeah, those are fine.
Okay.
You
Now,
just keep your receipt.
perfect. And obviously, we all need to have our Wisconsin fishing license. I know they sell what 2, 3, and 4 day licenses, don't they, in Wisconsin? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can even get a 1-day license, but you
One-day as well?
can definitely get a 3-day. And anything that you buy, if you come back another time, you can upgrade and get credit for what you paid for your 1-day license.
That's good to know. I live just like I was saying, just south of the Wisconsin border, so I have a year-long thing. I'm okay, but I want to make sure that the people in chat, the people are coming, they all know what to expect and how they can go about getting those licenses. So, and I know they do sell them online, people, and I'm pretty sure that a bait shop will have them too as well. Correct?
Yes, the bait shops do, and Walmart has them. And it's real easy to go online and do it. It's called Wisconsin Go Wild.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know this, Jerry, but Lyle and James Dockery love Walmart.
No.
Oh, they do.
They'll be spending some time at Walmart together. I want to get a picture of them two holding hands inside a Walmart next week.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
James did send me a message. He would like to know what the limit on bluegill and crappie is up there on Cherokee.
It's 25 per day.
Okay.
For crappie and bluegill?
Yeah, it's a combination of any panfish. You can catch 25 in a day.
Okay.
So
that's still big numbers.
So here's another question. If they were to clean the fish, we need to make sure you leave a patch of skin on, if I'm not mistaken, or am I mistaken?
No, not here. I've never heard of that.
Okay, maybe that's Minnesota that I'm confusing it with. When you catch walleye, they want to leave a little patch of skin
probably on. Canada, you definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's good to know. So bluegill and sucker are the bait of choice. What kind of equipment should we be using for those big channel cats?
Well, I like to use a fairly heavy rod, like a medium heavy.
Like a medium heavy? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, you can use just about anything. If you use a ultralight, you're gonna bend that rod quite a bit, though.
That'd be a fun ride. I mean, I've gotten like a 10-pounder on an ultralight, and that was like a 27-minute fight. I think I timed it on my GoPro. I can imagine what a 20-pounder would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's even been if people know Troy Hansen, he's even used an ice fishing rod to catch them.
I think a couple of us might be doing that this next week too.
I know one that ain't gonna do that. I've caught that fish before. And that's just silliness there.
I think you see James Dockery says he's bringing his Snoopy fishing pole.
He gets a hold of that 20-pounder. He'll wish he had a real fishing rod in his hand.
Yeah, that's right. You might end up breaking your rod or breaking your line or something.
Oh yeah. You use the same stuff for them you do for big channel cat and blue cats.
Yeah,
the same stuff.
Yep.
Now, if someone does decide to keep a catfish, let's say they happen to catch a smaller one or something, what are the rules and regulations according to that?
It's 10 fish per day with catfish.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you can keep a 2-day. You can have a 2-day possession limit, but if you're out fishing, you can't have your 2-day limit out there.
With you. Gotcha. That makes sense. And we always say, let the big ones back, let the breeders go, obviously. So
that would That would be hard to take out of that lake because if I remember correctly, Cindy and I didn't catch anything under 14 pounds the last trip up there.
Yeah.
It was all bigger than that. And I can't justify taking them kind of fish out of that fishery myself.
Yeah, I'd encourage everybody to do catch and release, but it is okay to keep a couple of smaller ones if you catch them.
Well, if you deep hook one and it's bleeding bad, that's a different situation. But there's a lot of places you can go catch eating fish instead of those big breeders.
Very true. I mean, there's channel cats everywhere, just not like they are up there in Mendota.
Yeah,
that I know for
amazing.
sure. So, Lau, what do you say we say hello to some people in chat? We forgot to do that.
Absolutely.
You want me to get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we'll get the list up here. I want to say hello to Avid Fisherman. What's going on, Avid? Country Boy Catfishing. Eric Massey Jig Company. What's going on, Eric? Ernie Brown. Fishing and Cooking with Mr. Mike Chavez. What's going on, Mike? D of Get Hooked on D Fishing. D caught a monster crappie last week. I think it was, what, 1.25 pounds, Lyle?
It was a monster, yeah.
That was a big crappie.
Really good crappie.
Good for her. She really outperformed Chad once again. Chad's her husband, by the way, Jerry. So
he should be proud.
Hooks and Hammocks, what's going on? James Dockery fishing, the man himself. Jason Lamb, what's up, buddy? Justin's Fishing Fetish, what's up, Gabby's dad? Mad Cat or Catfishing. Michael Morello, what's going on, Mike? Mike Irvin. Mindy Hogan with Uncle Lou, what's going on, Mindy? Rob over at Mo Creek Fishing. Mr. Gadget Fishing. I see Panfish. Oh, that's you, Lyle. Panfish Nation.
That's me.
Papa Ed. Parker Pursuits. Hey, Kelly over at the Bullock Experience. Uncle Lou, what's up, Uncle Lou? And I see 2 stands fishing just popped up. And of course, Betty. What's going on, Betty? How are you doing? Let's see. Chrissy Brown showed up in chat on the chat. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to thank everybody who's going to make the trip tomorrow next week. We're really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to meet all these good people in real life. Lyle, how about you?
I see Rogers in there and Mike Irwin.
Hey, Mr. Brad, what's going on?
Palmetto Catfishing, Palmetto Cats, Carolina Catfish. 2 old vets. Rob, how you doing? Cindy's in here.
Hello, Miss Cindy. How are you?
I think that covers about most of them. And a lot of these folks, I know Mike Chavez is not going, and Kevin from Palmetto Cat is not going, but a lot of these guys are planning on being up there. I can think of about 4 states right now that people are coming from. So,
hey, Jerry, I know a couple of guys have asked us about this. Maybe you could inform them a little better than I can. What about the bank fishing out there? Is there places to fish off the bank? Is that something that is easy to find?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely places. Well, it would probably be easier for me to point them in the right direction when we're up here.
Okay.
When everybody's here, I could tell them places to go. But along the river, above Lake Mendota, there's places to bank fish. And then up in Cherokee Lake, which is the lake that the Yahara River connects Lake Mendota with Cherokee, there are places there where I have actually bank fished and sit in a lounge chair and set up your rod and
that doesn't sound bad at all, does it?
Put some bank holders in the ground and you're fishing.
I'm going to have to add bank holders on my list, Lyle. I might take a day and do a little bank fishing with you. What do you say?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to get that big fish first, and then we'll go bank fishing and pan fishing and all of that.
Yep.
We'll go catch us some bait, and then we're going after them big kitties. So,
well, I'm with Dockery. I hate to tell you, but I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to try Jerry's panfish out. There is no length limit on the panfish up there, is there?
No, you can keep anything.
Okay. We're almost in tears over the fact that the yellow perch season is going to be closed when we get there, because I've never caught one, and I know you got them.
I didn't know there was a season on yellow perch.
Yeah, they close them for the spawn up there. Actually, the week we're up there.
Oh,
I found out
okay.
about that on the Larry Smith show, and we kind of looked into it and found out that it is closed. Actually, it doesn't say it's closed. It says it's open from the week after until the day before of the next year. So we kind of
Okay.
believe it or not, we did the math and figured it out.
Yeah.
That must be a new rule, because I don't think I've ever heard of a season for perch. But it makes sense though, because if they're they're pretty easy to catch when they're spawning, and they want to protect them for that.
Yeah, they're pretty coveted fish up there. People really like fish. When we were talking to Babe Winkleman, he was talking about how they were looked at as not prized, and now everybody wants to catch fish. Same with when we talked to Brian Brosdale. He actually has made a career out of guiding for perch, and I catch perch out here on the lakefront and stuff, and I kind of adore them myself. That's another one of my favorite go-tos. Get my limit, come home and enjoy it with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Catter Catfishing says Jerry is also an amazing cook. Ken Miller makes excellent beans, and I would attest to that.
Yes.
Remembering the meals that we had up there, my gosh, Jerry, that's all you did that year was cooked.
That's right. Well, I've quit doing that, but we still do our Friday night fish fry. So I want everybody to know that on Friday night we will have a fish fry for everybody. The food will be provided. Ken Miller's going to make his famous baked beans, and I'm going to bring potato salad, and we're going to fry up walleye fillets, bluegill fillets, and crappie fillets.
You had me at fish fry, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
You had me at fish fry, and then when you started talking walleye, bluegill, and crappie, oh my goodness!
Yeah. I'm probably going to have to come see you, Jerry.
Well, that'll be at the Mendota County Park.
The same park that we went to before.
Yes, and I have the address written down here so that people can write it down.
Okay.
And Mendota County Park is at 5133 County Highway M in Middleton.
Excellent. And if you did miss that, you can always come back and replay it and write that down. Or I'm sure me, Lyle, or one of the other people that are coming with us will write it down. You can always contact us and we'll pass that on.
Yeah, Mendota County Park is right on Lake Mendota, and it's in the northwest corner of the lake.
Okay. And Lake Mendota's like a pretty big, almost a round lake with the one like point that comes in there, if I'm not mistaken, right, Jerry? So it's kind of easy
pretty
to find
much.
Way around.
It's kind of round.
Mm-hmm.
It's
experience. I think we did say hello to you, but since your phone's in and out, we'll do it again.
Hello, Kelly. How you doing, bud? Two old vets. What's going on, Rob? How are you?
Is that correct there, Jerry? I'm sure it is. Betty put it up.
What's that?
5133 County Highway.
Yes, that's right. I can see it now.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Betty. She's quick with the Googling.
She is.
She's probably one of the most excited people to go. I'm so looking forward to spending some time with the Cross family and everybody else. So, and the hijinks that are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting.
That's not funny. But you're right, Rob.
Yeah, have you seen Lyle eat at a buffet? I've heard stories. I'm about to.
I've heard those stories too.
I advise against having shrimp. If you want to recover,
I seem to recall a shrimp, all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet once that Lyle and Ron Workman got involved.
Oh man, him and Big Dave, and there was a few others in that, but I couldn't hang with them boys. They was too tough for me.
Oh wow!
I miss old Ron. I miss Ron a lot.
Yeah, me too.
He's a great guy. But, you know, he's got a protege coming up right behind him. It's just about like
That's right.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet Chris can put away some shrimp too.
I bet he can. I haven't seen Chris for a few years now, but I seen him 2 or 3 years ago at the Catfish Conference, and it was really good to see him down there.
Hmm.
Of course, you got to cut him a little slack. He is a Cubs fan.
Yeah, just like his dad.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna everybody chat. You need to take note though. You're gonna be in Packers territory too, so
You will be. That's
be
a fact.
prepared.
That's right.
Be prepared.
Now, is there going to be a bunch of them camping up there this year, Jerry?
Yeah, some of us are camping. I will be.
Okay.
And some of my friends, Ken Miller's going to have his camper there. Richard Ward is coming, I believe, from
I can't wait to meet him.
St. Joe, Missouri.
The last time I seen him, when the first time I met him was there.
Oh yeah.
That's, you know, the last time we was up there.
Hmm.
Betty would like to know how the walleye fishing is up there this time of the year.
I couldn't really tell you. I haven't been out fishing for them.
Okay.
And haven't heard any word on that, but there are walleyes in the lake, Lake Mendota. I usually catch them when I try, but I just couldn't tell you right now.
Up until you had the shoulder surgery, Jerry, was you still fishing hard like you used to?
Well, I was ice fishing before the surgery.
Well, every year, I remember for years and years, you fished hard up there and caught some giant fish out of that lake.
Oh yeah. I haven't fished it quite as hard in recent years, but I still get out quite a few times every year.
Okay.
Hey, we had a couple other people pop in the chat. I see NKR Fishing and Outdoors, Carpin Down Under, Justin's Fishing Fetish. I think I said hello to Justin, but you can't say hello enough to Justin. Polar Bear came in. Brad Caudell. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Chad Nolte. What's going on, Chad? Hopefully I got everybody. We don't want him. And Papa Ed, if I haven't said hello to you, Papa.
Brad Caudill?
Caudill?
Carpin Down Under is our friend from across the pond there, isn't he?
He is from England, I believe, correct? Or is it from Australia? Australia. That's
Yeah.
right. He
We're
was
so glad to have him as part of our show.
Parker Pursuits too. Kelly, we'll say hello again.
Okay. Hooks and Hammocks wants to know, where is the campground?
Okay,
That was the address they give you a while ago.
yes, that's the campground is in Mendota County Park.
And there's a boat ramp there, correct, if I'm not mistaken, as well. If we want
Yes,
to launch
there is a boat ramp. The problem is that ramp is pretty shallow. So if your boat sits pretty high on your trailer, you might have to back your whole truck in to get it off.
Oh, good note. And there's also over on that Mendota area, isn't there a boat ramp there as well?
I wrote down some ramps so that people could know.
Okay.
There's the Governor Nelson State Park, which is on pretty much the north end of, or north side of Lake Mendota. That park is at the intersection of County Highway M, as in Mary, and Onken Road, Oncken.
Perfect.
So that one you have to buy a day permit to the park in order to launch there.
Okay.
And then there's a boat launch at Warner Park on the east side of the lake. If you look at a map of the lake, it's in Warner Bay. which is part of Lake Mendota.
Okay.
And that address for that launch is 1201 Woodward Drive, and that's Madison. And then there's one more launch, and that's Cherokee Marsh.
Mhm.
It's a city launch, and that one is free. Let's see.
Is that the gravel one we used before?
Yes,
Okay.
and you get to that one at the excuse me, the intersection of School Road and Wheeler Road on the northeast side of Madison.
Somebody write that down.
Yeah,
Because that's what we used before. And
If
that's
you
where
look
the
at-
kayaks would probably be good.
A
to
Mad
put in.
Catter says that Mendota County is free and Cherokee is free.
yes.
Good to know.
If you look at your Google Maps and find the intersection of School Road and Wheeler Road, you'll see that there's a little road that goes back to a canal, and the canal joins up with the Yahara River, which is just at the entrance to Cherokee Lake.
Good evening, fellows from the flatland. About to slice the side of a couple of giant crappie. Welcome, Steve.
Welcome, Steve. You got me jealous.
No kidding.
So tell us about a little bit about Cherokee. It's, from what I understand, it's a pretty shallow lake, correct? Or pretty shallow part
Yeah.
of the lake.
It is. Cherokee, the deepest part is about 6 feet deep, and quite a bit of it is only about 2 feet deep. But I tell you, in the springtime, the catfish move up through there because they're going up to the really shallow water to spawn. And we've had days where we just caught dozens of big catfish in Cherokee Lake. It's amazing.
Well, you know, the best thing I can tell anybody that's going to be on Cherokee is idle only. Don't try to go fast across that lake, or you're going to tear up something. So it goes from 2 foot to 6 foot, and then back to 2 foot just right now. And we only found a couple of spots over 3 or 4 foot the whole time we was up there last time. So thank you, Betty. That'd be great.
Perfect, Betty. Thanks.
But there ain't no sense of going that far to have that much fun and to tear something up. In fact, trolling motor mode might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, Cherokee Lake is divided. They put buoys up on the west side of the buoys is slow no wake, the whole thing, and on the right, the east side of the buoys, which is actually Cherokee Lake, that part you can go faster. But you're right, Lyle. You should just go slow no wake everywhere up there.
I agree.
So
And,
what about some of the guys who are used to dragging baits? Is that a possibility over there, or is that something that's probably not going to happen?
Well, you can do that. There are guys that do it. You could drag baits across Cherokee Lake, particularly if you put a float on your, just above your hook, and then let the sinker drag on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That would work.
And kayaks won't have a problem either out there, correct?
No, kayaks are fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
We got some guys coming with kayaks, and they're really looking forward to it as well. So,
oh yeah. Well, there's even a kayak launch on Cherokee Lake, or just below Cherokee. It's on the north side of the Yahara River there, next to a dog park. And you can put kayaks in there. And I think that's really why they make it slow no wake, is so that people can kayak and not get swamped.
I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hooks and Hammocks says they're bringing their kayaks too, so that's 4 people I know.
Yeah, that'll be 4 of them up there that we are aware of. I know who's not bringing one.
Me and you.
That's right, 2 of us for sure. Yeah.
But I'll ice fish, Lyle. Do you ice fish, Jerry?
Oh yes.
We got to get Lyle out ice fishing. That's my goal in life.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm too big. I make too big a splash when the ice breaks.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lyle.
I love ice fishing.
So what other kind of attractions are there if people wanted to spend some time away from fishing? Why they would want to do that, I don't know. But let's say somebody wants to go into town or something. Is there anything you can recommend for them to do? I know they're going to want to go like Lyle and James are going to want to go visit the Walmart, but I mean something other than that.
James will have to take Katie, but Lyle don't have to go.
Well, I don't know. There's
shops and stuff nearby, and there's lots of restaurants and stuff, correct?
Yeah, there's plenty of restaurants around. For people that want to get a hotel room, there are hotels in Wanakee, which is north of Lake Mendota, and also in, I got to think of the name of it, Windsor.
Okay.
There's a couple of hotels in Windsor, which is on the northeast side of Madison.
Betty just asked an important question. She says, "Where is the cheese?"
Well, there are grocery stores in town called Woodman's Grocery, and they have a really good selection of cheeses. If you want to get premium cheeses, like the really fancy stuff, there's a store called Metcalf's.
Well, I'm sure Lyle will be fine in that place.
I'm sure he will.
Okay.
So I had to ask for everybody. I'm trying to please everybody, Rob.
Yeah. Well, you were asking about attractions. I think the main attraction is going to be in the campground in the evenings.
Yeah.
We're gonna have campfires every night.
I'm looking forward to that.
There's a lot of good stories and banter that goes on at the campfire.
There might even be a few lies told.
There could be. Yeah, there could be.
Bring a lawn chair, folks. Remember, that's one of the most important things on a week like this. Bring your comfortable lawn furniture.
I'm sure that Troy Hansen will be popping popcorn again. Jiffy Pop.
He kind of warned me about somebody with the fires over there. He says, "Watch your back when you're near them. They get pretty hot." So.
Well, I got to tell a story because it was so funny. One year, Troy was going to make Jiffy Pop, and he couldn't get close enough to the fire to pop it because he'd burn his hand. So he wired the Jiffy Pop to the end of a pole, and then he put it out over the fire, and he was popping the popcorn. And all of a sudden, the thing caught on fire, and it was like there were flames flying everywhere.
Oh man,
it was fun.
Tool Vet says, "Bring the waiters because it'd be getting deep." He ain't kidding.
And here's a true statement. Yes, a chair is important. That covered building that we was at the last time I was up there, there's still the benches in there,
picnic tables,
but them do get hard. I mean, you go and sit on them for a while, and they do get hard.
Right.
Betty, I don't know how well you know Troy, but I've known him for a long time, and if you haven't been around him as much as I have, you probably really don't know how much of a hoot he can be.
I haven't met him yet. I'm looking forward to meeting him, and obviously you, Jerry. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's a handful.
Papa Ed says line and kugel beer and cheese every place you stop. I want to mention what's the other? The Spotted Cow too. If you guys like beer, have yourself a Spotted Cow while you're up there.
What the hell is that? Is that a kind of beer?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They
they
don't-
make it in,
Before.
It's against the law to get out of Wisconsin. They say they won't sell it outside of Wisconsin.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
It's Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Troy has a hat for every day.
Today. Yep. And he's not ashamed to wear them no matter how bad they look.
So what are you looking forward to most, Lyle?
The fish. Just, I know what's in them lakes. I know what the capabilities are. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to is catching some fish because they're absolutely pigs up there. Like I told you before, we've been to the Red River and didn't catch near the quality of fish that's in Cherokee. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think if you compare the Red River around Grand Forks, they catch fish about the same as we catch on Lake Mendota.
Yeah.
And, maybe ours are averaging bigger. I don't know. But I've also fished up on the Red River north of the Lockport Dam. And that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's my next go-to place.
Yeah, even Lake Mendota can't compare to that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's
When
crazy.
I understand you go up there for 2 or 3 days and catch 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of channel cat. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Some friends of mine and I, Troy and Ken Miller and another friend of ours, went up there 2 years ago, and my friend Al and I, one day, I took a counter and a clicker, and I counted off 100 catfish before we quit and went to bed. That just the two of us caught that many.
That's a long day.
That's a lot of fishing.
We were in the 70s at supper time, and so after supper we went down to the boat dock and just stood in the boat tied up to the dock and caught the rest to make our 100.
Wow.
That's always fun to do, man. Just tying off to a dock in a boat. We were doing that fishing for some channel cats a couple of times and ended up bringing a muskie into the boat. That was kind of a pleasant surprise. So you mentioned that and it brings back good memories. I had to bring that up. So that's what fishing's about, though, isn't it, Lyle?
That's exactly right. Catching a few fish, having a good time, making some memories. And I promise.
And when you're catching catfish like you are crappie, that's pretty insane.
Well, that's exactly right. And this will be a trip of a lifetime for a lot of people going up there. They'll catch channel cat bigger than they've ever caught before, and may never catch them that big again. It's just the way it is. It's amazing. It's amazing fishery.
One over outdoors. Welcome. What's going on, John? How are you, bud?
Sounds like a plan, Ernie. Any pies this year?
Pies?
That's Mad Catter.
Oh. What kind of pie do you want, Richard? Cherry?
We got a couple of pie fans in the house, don't we, Lyle?
We do. My motto, there's only two kinds, hot and cold.
Agreed.
Yeah,
he complied to you.
He said yes.
I see that. Yeah. Well, one year I made a couple of big cherry cobblers, and they went over really good.
Man. I bet.
I'm excited. I don't know if I'll sleep between then and now.
Dude, I got to tell you, Mark, the last time we was up there, Jerry cooked the whole time we was there. He cooked
Yeah.
every day, and he cooked some amazing stuff. It was awesome. And we'd come in from fishing, everybody'd sit around, and Jerry'd been cooking for 2 or 3 hours, and he was still cooking, and we was eating, and he was cooking, and he didn't fish. You didn't fish the whole time we was up there, did you?
Well, yeah, I got a little fishing in, but not too much.
It wasn't much because all you did was cook. That was pretty unfair. But,
You made quite the impression, Jerry, because this is like the 10th time he's told me this story.
Oh, my
I'm not even kidding.
It
So
was,
you must be
that was
fabulous.
a lifetime. It really was.
Well, I do remember some good smoked ribs that we had that time.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Oh,
Still
one
looking
thing
forward to a fish fry. Sorry.
yeah, that fish fry will be good. I wanted to make known that this year we're going to do it in honor of Mark Neneman, who passed away last fall in November from the COVID-19.
That was a shame.
Yeah, Mark was heavily involved in this gathering for the last probably 7 or 8 years.
As long as I can remember.
And he was such a good friend, and I really miss him. We fished a lot together, and we cooked together, and made wine together, and hunted together. We just did a lot.
Yeah,
And
Mark's a
so,
great guy.
yep. So we're doing this gathering in honor of Mark this year.
I'm glad we're going to be a part of that because he was a great guy, helpful to everybody, and kind, friendly, nice guy. Message every once in a while, I'd get a message from him about this time of year, wanting to know if we was going up there. And of course, we got so heavily into fishing tournaments that it was always a tournament, and it was hard to do both. But when you have sponsors and people wanting you to do certain things, you kind of got to go that way. But I've kind of thrown some of that to the past now, and Cindy and I are really looking forward to getting up there.
I feel privileged to be part of that. So
It's going to be a blast.
Thank you for letting us come up there.
Jerry, he's been such a wealth of information throughout anybody going up there. I think everybody that ever goes to Mendota at some point contacts Jerry to find out the stipulations on what's going on because he lives right there close to the lake and been fishing it for years. And if there's anything that's happening up there, he kind of knows what it is.
Yep.
Which that makes it really good. I would like to say that we would do this every year or every other year for a while, but who knows anymore with everything that's going on. You don't know if you're going to be able to do things from one year to the next. That's why it's so important that we get together and have such a good time this time.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to be spending a little more time up there this year, Lyle. I'll send you pictures.
Well, you live a lot closer than any of the rest of us, so I would be surprised if you have a good trip up there. I would be surprised if you don't.
Yeah.
And I'll let everybody know you're always invited to come with me anytime.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to fish. Now, I've not ever been on Mendota itself, planned to this trip, but can you catch these big channel cats in the summertime or any other time of the year in Mendota, Jerry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the summertime, you can fish just about anywhere around the lake, but you fish in the seaweed beds. The catfish will be in there. Yeah. What I like to do is to suspend my bait above the seaweed, use a bobber. And so your bait is above the seaweed, and the catfish will come up out of there and take your bait.
Cool.
What's the vegetation look like on Cherokee this time of year?
It's pretty much non-existent at this point.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, good to know.
Yep, it'll grow up in the summertime though. Boy, it gets thick. And there's no fish up there then either, no catfish. In the summer, they all move back down to the main lake.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Betty said that she is. Oh, there it is. Jerry, I am messaging you the address you gave us on Facebook Messenger. Can you please verify that they're correct for her after the show?
Sure.
Okay, so just keep an eye out for a message from Betty.
Okay.
So when's everybody usually start getting up there during this get together? Is it just over the weekend usually? I know we're heading up a little early.
Yeah. Officially, it's going from Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
But Ken Miller's coming up on Tuesday, I think. And I don't know when everybody else will come, but we'll be camped at the park from Wednesday on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be camped at the motel.
What kind of camping do they have at the park? Are you going to be in an actual tent? Is it primitive camping? Do they have RV spots if people have campers?
Yeah, they're RV spots. You could put an RV in any of their campsites, and let's see, every site has electricity, but there's no hookups for sewer or water.
Okay.
But there is a dump station and a fill station at the park.
Oh, so that isn't too bad. I've camped in worse. Trust me, much worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the electricity has come in handy in the past because we've had some real cold nights during our gathering in May, and you could plug in a little heater in your tent if you wanted some extra heat.
And if you have an insulated ice shanty, that doesn't hurt either. I made a mistake in not bringing it. I wish I brought it to my last camping trip. That would have been perfect. Electricity, a little electric heater in there, I'd have been good. But it didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
So, any idea what kind of weather we're expecting up there next week?
Yeah, it's supposed to be highs in the mid 60s. So and they're predicting cloudy weather. So it should be pretty ideal.
That's perfect for me. That's my kind of fishing weather.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's better, day fishing or night fishing?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can fish either time.
That's the beauty of channel cats, isn't it, Lyle?
They just got a feed bag on most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true, Ernie. With James around, you're going to have to watch your back all the time.
Yeah, we've had guys from our group fish at night before. There's like Richard's son, Casey. He loved going out. Like he'd fish 24 hours a day if he didn't have to have some sleep.
I remember Troy and Bobby Vargas was fishing, and Troy had that little bitty boat, and they was up there, and it was raining, and they had fish swimming around in the bottom of the boat, and they was still reeling them in. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I've had that happen too.
Wow.
One time, Jim Stanberry and Ken Miller and I were out there on Cherokee Lake, and it was just pouring down rain. And we were catching catfish one right after another. And there was about 2 inches of water on the floor of my boat. And we'd lay the fish down there, and they'd start flipping their tails and just throwing water everywhere.
Betty asks, is there adequate parking for trucks pulling boats at the campground?
Yes, there's a nice parking lot there that has room for trucks with boats connected to them.
It's a big parking area.
And what's the entry fee into that park? You said there is a fee to get in?
No, not that one. This we're talking about the county park where we camp.
Okay.
The state park that has a launch has a fee to get in.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's it.
We got any more questions in chat?
I don't see any right at the present time. There's a lot of comments from when people's going to get there, and
There's a lot of excitement too in chat. I'm seeing that.
oh yeah, people are really excited about getting there. Welcome, Dale. Glad you could join us this evening. It looks like the weather's going to be pretty good from what I'm seeing, and that's good. I am happy about one thing. We had a blowout going to the lake the other day and had to buy new tires for our trailer. I'm really glad of that. It would beat getting them now versus having that happen on the way up there, you know.
Yeah, that would not be good.
I had that happen coming back from North Dakota one year.
Parker Pursuits has a question. He wants to know how the pike fishing is up there.
Oh, well, that's one thing I was going to say earlier is that don't be surprised if when you're catfishing that you catch a northern pike, because there are lots of pike in that lake and they like to take cut bait.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, they do.
Whether it's on a tip up or a circle hook, man, them pike, they like cut bait. They say they'll eat hot dogs. I've been trying to do that for the last couple of years. I haven't been able to get them to do that, but cut bait they'll take.
Do people just anchor for cats, or does anyone drag for them too? You can do both.
Didn't I answer? I asked that question for Chad earlier. He must not have been listening.
Chad's still trying to force the taste of that minnow out of his mouth.
I bet he wanted to thank you, Jerry, for all the information, and you're being very helpful. She's really looking forward to it.
Well, good.
Yeah, she is, and there's a lot of us are too. And thank you, Philip. We appreciate that so much. The good luck in Mendota. We're going to need some luck, but we're going to have a good time regardless. But,
yeah, I think people will really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, there's no question. No question. If you like catching channel cat, big channel cat, this is the place to go. Unless you, like you say, unless you go up into Canada. James wants to know what's the average size crappie up there.
Oh, that's hard to say. You can catch crappies. Oh, I'd say probably around a pound would be the biggest. And
that's good.
I've watched a couple of shows. I forget the gentleman's name, but he was up there with that guide Big B who guides up there, and they were getting 12, 14s, and 15s out of there during that show. So
yeah, they're in there. You just have to know how to fish them and where to fish for them.
Maybe they'll help us out at the bait shop with some intel.
Yeah, they will give you reports on what people have been catching.
Perfect.
I just bought a live scope setup this winter for ice fishing, nice. And then I've got the pole mount for my boat, so I'm going to try to use that this year for panfish fishing.
I'm very envious. I got my eye on one of them one of these days.
Yeah, it's really neat. When I went ice fishing a couple of days before my surgery, I used that for the first time, and I was on Lake Wabisa here in Madison, and it was so neat because I put it down and I saw a fish coming, and I could see my bait down there, and the fish came right in and took my bait, and I jerked up and I caught him, and it was a perch.
Pretty cool. It's nice to be able to drill a hole and see which direction you should be walking rather than drilling 100 holes trying to figure out which direction you got to be running.
That's right. That's right. It really helps.
I'm with you on that 100%. Let's go, James. Stop by my house. Pick me up.
Yeah, he's got to ask Katie if it's okay first.
We'll stop at Walmart. He can run in and get some night crawlers so we can catch some bait when we go up there.
There you go. Well, he'd be happy to do that. Of course, he's going to be the shortest one in the store.
There's another fish that's pretty plentiful in the lake, and that's white bass. And those make really good catfish bait too.
Oh,
and
perfect.
it's legal
That's
to
good
use
know.
them, right?
Oh yes, and there's no limit on white bass. You can catch as many as you want.
That's
So
sweet.
how do you recommend we go about catching white bass?
I generally troll for them with small crankbaits.
Okay. Can like a small paddle tail jig work?
Sure, that
Okay,
would
good.
work.
Because I got plenty of those.
Yeah, because they'll take minnows, they'll take little wiggly, twister tails, or like you're saying, a paddle tail works. They'll bite just about anything that looks like a minnow.
Very good. And is that on Mendota that you find those, or is that actually on Cherokee?
I have caught white bass on cut bait in Cherokee.
Okay. Where should we be looking for them if we're going to go looking for them?
I generally would go around the main lake in probably about 10 to 20 feet of water and just troll around.
And how good is that? Is that lake mapped out pretty well as far as depths and stuff?
Yes, if you've got a chip for your fish finder, like a Lake Master makes a Wisconsin map with good contours on Lake Mendota.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I'm kind of laughing here because one of the people in chat, we were kind of talking before the show, and he was saying about how he doesn't know how his electronics are going to work in 2 to 6 feet of water because they're fishing in much deeper depths. And I told him, "Welcome to my world." So I'm going to be happy to see these people suffering like I do every time I get out on the river here.
Well, and on the last time we was up there on Cherokee, it was actually so shallow that the side imaging really didn't do a whole lot of good.
Yeah, if I do use my side imaging, but I've found that going to a lower frequency helps because I think if you have a hummingbird with side imaging, if you've got it set at 800 hertz, it goes down at a steeper angle. And if you set it to 400 hertz, then it'll come right up almost to the surface of the water.
Yeah, their longer wavelengths will travel farther slower, which allows for a picture in shallower water.
Okay, yeah.
Too much information. I'm a dork when it comes to that stuff. So.
But that really is a good thing to know because then you can see more on your side imaging. But that's how I generally find fish is on my side imaging.
Yeah, there's some of the newer side imaging units are pretty good in shallow water. I mean, you're not going to see 100 feet out, but you'll see 40 feet out if you're running at like 400 megahertz and stuff. So you'll see shadows or you'll see something that you'll know to come back and go over. So at least looking for structure. That's how I usually do it. So,
yep.
Is there a lot of structure in Cherokee?
I'd say no.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just pretty featureless. There are some holes out there that might be a little deeper. I think there's a 10-foot hole that holds panfish a lot of times. Like people like to ice fish over that hole because they catch quite a bit there.
Now about I know there's some docks over on the one side by the marina. Are we allowed to fish for panfish up along in those docks? Or is that someplace we are? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I got my week all mapped out already, Jerry. Thank you so much for your help, buddy. As you can tell, I'm asking all the questions I want the answers to. Hopefully somebody else can get some use out of it.
Well, that's good. Other people
that's the only way you find out stuff. It really is. That's the only way you find out things. And if anybody has any other questions for Jerry, now's the time to get it because we're running on an hour and he's a busy guy. So if you have any questions for him, get them out here so we can get them answered for you.
Jerry, can you say your last name for the people in chat?
Yeah, it's Hochhausen.
Hochhausen. Perfect. Thank you for saying that. And please, when you walk up to Jerry, say hello, Mr. Hochhausen, when you see him up there.
Absolutely.
Next week, pay him the respect for answering all our questions. It's the least we can.
Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate it so very much that you took your time out because you don't have to be on here with us, but we all appreciate it so much, Jerry.
Oh, wait, last call for question, Betty said. Do you have another question? Brad wants to know what your largest channel cat is, Jerry.
Mine is 28 pounds. And that was caught up in Cherokee Lake.
Now you're talking. That brings a smile to my face.
I'm telling you. It's a great place to fish. They're going up there to spawn, and we're going to interrupt their spawn for just a few minutes, but we're going to turn them back loose.
Oh, actually, I do have one last question. Is there anything that you need, Jerry, that we can bring up there as guests?
Oh, thanks for offering. I don't think so. We're planning on providing the food for the fish fry.
Okay.
And so everybody can come to that and just not have to worry about bringing anything.
You let us know if you need anything. Me and Lyle will get the word out to the gang that's going. I'm sure we can.
Absolutely. Be happy to bring anything that you need. Just let us know.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for offering that, but we'll cover the fish fry.
Again, you had me at fish fry.
Yeah. When you said that, I knew I was coming. With the rest of them, they could go to somewhere else they want to, but I was going to be there.
Yeah. We'll have plenty of fish.
Yeah. It'll be awesome. It's always a great time up there. And Jerry, we can't thank you enough for coming on the show and joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I look forward to meeting you next week. I want to say good night to everybody, and I want to say thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Lyle, for mentioning this. The first time I was on Catfish Weekly, he's like, "We got to go to Cherokee Lake," and I'm like, "All right, let's go." And it's been working up ever since, and I'm glad it has. So, am I wrong, Lyle? That's how it started.
That's true. That's the truth. We just started talking about it, and the more we talked about it, the more people was interested in it. And I said, I'm telling you, I know a guy.
Here we are.
And here we are. And that's
dreams do come true.
They do. And this, for a lot of people, this trip will be a dream come true. They'll catch the biggest channel cat of their life up there. There's, I see that happening to several people. I had such a good trip last time. I would be surprised if I do that again. But if I did, I would be right at the top of as high up as you could go because 28 pounds or so channel cat is a giant. I mean, it just is. It's a handful, and they're beautiful, real dark colored, got long whiskers on them.
Long whiskers, yeah.
Not like no channel cat I've ever seen down here.
You know, I've never seen a 14-pound channel cat with juvenile spots on it. That's the first thing I noticed when I was fishing with Jonathan. I was like, that's very odd, but it was very cool to see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, it is. Well, Jerry, thanks again for joining us. Anything you want to go over before we cut out of here, Mark?
No, my show on Monday nights. That's it. That's what I got.
Catfish Weekly on Monday nights, and after us, Catfish and Crappie.
Yes, sir.
We want to thank James and Chad for heading people our way after their show on Thursday nights, Fishing with the Chad. We appreciate it so much. But again, Mark and I have made a decision, and we're never going to eat fish food and fish raw. It's not going to happen. So.
I'll eat sushi. You guys can watch me.
Yeah, but that's not a minnow.
But I'm not eating bait.
Yeah, we're not eating no bait raw. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.